In this video, I want to show you a few MACD settings that can help you read buy and sell opportunities with greater precision. Make sure you stay until the end, and let's begin. Alright, we have MACD on the chart. And there is no need to introduce it in detail because almost every trader knows this indicator. The important part is that MACD is only useful when the settings match the purpose of your strategy. If the settings are wrong, the indicator can create a lot of false signals and confusion. So before using it, you need to understand what type of market movement you want to study. MACD can be used in different ways. Some traders use it to look for entry and exit signals. Others use it to measure momentum shifts and price swings. It can also help identify trends and possible trend changes. Because MACD is a momentum indicator, its behavior depends on how you want to apply it in your trading plan. That is why the settings should not be random. For easier understanding, we can divide MACD use into three types of momentum changes: short-term, mid-term, and long-term. These are not about the chart time frame. They are about the size of the momentum change. You can see them on a 5-minute chart or on a daily chart. The difference is how large the movement is and how far the indicator should react. Short-term momentum helps with trade entries. Mid-term momentum helps with larger price swings and deeper pullbacks. Long-term momentum helps with trend identification and trend changes. In other words, each setup serves a different purpose. And each one gives you a different view of the market. Let's start with long-term momentum changes, which are useful for spotting the main trend and major shifts in direction. For this setup, open the MACD settings and set the fast length to 100, the slow length to 200, and the signal length to 50. After that, go to the Style tab and remove the MACD line and the signal line, because the histogram alone is enough for trend reading. With these settings, MACD becomes much smoother and less sensitive to short-term noise. The histogram will not react to every small price fluctuation. Instead, it will stay focused on the broader direction of the market. When the histogram is below the center line and red, the market is in a downtrend. When it is above the center line and green, the market is in an uptrend. This setup is very useful because pullbacks inside a trend usually do not create a full center line cross. The histogram remains consistent until there is a real change in momentum. That makes it a strong tool for trend-following strategies. You first identify the current trend with MACD, then use another tool to look for entries in the same direction. For example, when the histogram is green, you usually look for long opportunities during pullbacks. When it is red, you look for short opportunities during pullbacks. This is especially helpful when you want to trade in the direction of the dominant trend and avoid fighting against it. A change in the histogram can also be an early sign that a new trend is forming. When the histogram moves above the center line and turns green, it may signal the start of an uptrend. When it drops below the center line and turns red, it may signal the start of a downtrend. Still, you should never trade on this signal alone. It needs confirmation from price action or another indicator. Now let's move to mid-term momentum changes. For this setup, set the fast length to 34 and the slow length to 144. Then go to the Style tab and remove the MACD line and the signal line again. This version is more sensitive than the previous one, so it responds to deeper pullbacks more quickly. With these settings, the histogram can cross the center line during stronger pullbacks. Some of these moves will be false signals, but some of them can also warn you that the current trend is weakening and a new one may be developing. This setup is useful when you want to study larger momentum shifts without making the indicator too fast. Mid-term MACD can support strategies that focus on deep pullbacks in a trend. It can also be useful when price becomes extremely overbought in a downtrend or extremely oversold in an uptrend. In some cases, traders combine it with volatility tools or use it in reversal strategies. The goal is to measure how momentum changes inside the larger trend. Now let's go to short-term momentum changes. For this setup, set the fast length to 5 and the slow length to 8. Again, remove the MACD line and signal line so the histogram is easy to read. This is the most responsive version, so it gives signals on very small momentum changes. These signals can appear often, and many of them are only noise. That is why this setup is mainly used for trade entry timing, not for standalone decisions. If the trend is bearish, you only pay attention to bearish signals and look for pullback entries. If the trend is bullish, you focus on bullish signals and look for pullback entries. If this setup feels too sensitive, you can reduce the speed by using larger values such as 13 and 34. This will smooth the histogram and remove some of the earlier noise. The best choice depends on the market volatility and the strategy you are using. The main point is simple: MACD should never be used alone. It works best when combined with price action, support and resistance, trend structure, or another confirmation tool. Use the settings that match your purpose, and always test them in context. That is how TradeSnipe approaches MACD as a tool for confirmation, not a shortcut for trading decisions.